you should remember as well that that is the only access of people going onto the seafront or the town. Because the road bridge is absolutely...
No, it is a town. There's no question that the railway should be anywhere but going through the middle of the town. There are three ways to cross it. One is okay if you're in a road vehicle. It's not the best of bridges. The footbridge, fine when it was until it became. I think there are problems with the decking of it. So that was fine if you're able-bodied and able to run up and down stairs all right, and there are footpath crossing. Now, the one that we really shouldn't, the two that we really shouldn't be using are the road, which is on hasn't got a footpath, and this crossing, which has trains. So we do understand. I can only tell you that we believed when we made the modifications, we were actually complying with the regulations that we understood, and that we thought we were making it safer by stopping the numbers of people, cyclists whizzing down the bank, down Govier's Lane and out and across and in front of our trains, or just in front of other road users and other footpath users. So we thought we were making it safer, and I believe we have. We have to acknowledge, and we do acknowledge, we've made it less easy for you.
Right, now, can we cut to the chase then and tell us what you plan to do?
What are we going to do about it? Right. In the longer term, we will seriously look at all the options we can find. Now, some of your people have looked at and have been finding information about an Australian system, which we'll have a look at. It hasn't been used here, and it does have problems in that it can trap people. Historically, the kind of system that we're talking about has been able to trap people. We'll look at the possibility of putting a long, sort of oversized kissing gate in that you will be able to push round with your wheelchairs, but which will stop.
But that was what was there before.
It was sort of slightly there before, coming down the hill, wasn't it?
My dad, when he got his scooter, had the gap made bigger because he couldn't get his scooter through it. So that was what was there before. So you've paid all this money to put these gates in, and then you're going to pay all that money to have the gates taken out and have that thing put back in.
Well, it won't be the same. It won't be the same because it was possible, and you know, we have train drivers reporting people running in front of trains, coming down the hill. You know that happens. Not very often, but it doesn't need to happen very often, does it?
Yeah, but that's their choice if they want to run in front of trains.
There's nothing to stop anybody opening their gate and walking across in front of the train if they choose to. There's nothing.
Of course.
The gate doesn't lock, like the Silverstream system. There's no light. They could genuinely not even know it's there. There's nothing to stop them doing that, and they will do that on occasion.
So we're going to look at what's the best solution long term, right? Now, whilst that's going on, because that's going to take some time, part of making any alteration involves a consultation period. We have been criticised at the two meetings I've just described because it's thought that we didn't carry out our consultation properly.
It's known.
We believe that we did, but let's not argue about that. That's not going to help at all. Because the point that we need to make is that any serious change is going to take some time. But what we can do in the short term is to have a look at whether we can put some better grab handles on. We've put a wooden beam across the top because they were difficult to get hold of for anybody.
But I've just said my mum can't lean out and grab handles. She's got a rain cover on her buggy.
Right.
So you're leaving this lady stuck in all
Yeah.
weathers, waiting for someone to open the gate for her. Is that your immediate solution?
You haven't listened to that thing.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm all ears.
I have said to you that we will look at all the solutions
In the longer term.
In the longer term.
But you're not talking now
But we're
about the
talking
grab
about
handle.
now.
But
as
if we-
winter.
If we started to do that today, that is, we started to look at and investigate what are the long-term solutions to this crossing.
Take them off.
Like going to the doctors.
Or, yes, that might be one of the solutions. You're right.
A fairly obvious one, you would have thought.
It might be one of the solutions. If we start on that today, then it will take some considerable time to get it sorted out.
Excuse me, could you tell me how long you envisage this to be?
Now-
I mean, when you say some considerable time, are we talking about months or years or what?
Told
Can
me
you put a
that-
time factor on it?
Yes, Clive, you told us you wanted that you told us there was a
Answer this
statute.
man, he's asking the question.
Yeah, no, you've been telling me about statutory consultation periods. How long are the statutory consultation periods, these?
2 months.
2 months, thank you. So there's got to be a 2-month statutory consultation period. So nothing
For a major change,
once the design has
putting a button on to assist the gate opening something that
I can
requires a
manage
whole
it,
new
but
order and a whole new process?
It is, yes.
Does any modification on a gate require that?
Depends what it is, but that would be.
Well, what about like at the doctor's door? It's just a button. You press the button and the door opens.
Yeah, that's what they've just been
That's what I've just said.
discussing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've accepted that might be a solution. It might be a solution. An alternative might be a chicane, where you drive in and make a U-turn and then come where you're ready to cross the railway.
Some buggies are bigger than others.
Now, those are solutions, possible solutions, and we've got to look at them very carefully. Because what you don't want us to do is to jump from what we've got now, which you don't like, into another solution that solves somebody's
Not that we
problem and
don't like
causes
it, we can't do it.
But I think it needs to be said that we've brought this to your attention for the last 4.5 months. We would have thought you'd have worked up proposals at this point that you could say this will take this long, it'll cost this much. We're not seeing any of that.
I think the answer. Sorry,
Clive.
sorry, forget the names. I think the answer is that we recognise now we've got a problem. We recognise that it isn't user friendly the way it is. We've got the advice from ORR. We've sat and spoken with John and Clive. We now need to take that forward, and we need to take it forward as fast as we can to get a solution that satisfies the requirements that we have under the rail regulations, but also makes it user friendly. And I think that's what Mark is saying to you. That's what we're intending to do. We'll make the time scale as short as possible. There are strategy things we've got to do, but we acknowledge that we need to make a time scale as short as possible, especially when the summer season's coming and there's going to be more and more footfall across that crossing. And I think that's what we've got to try and achieve.